F-30. Oh, geez.
Is it that?
Yeah. F-35 kill switch doesn't exist. Lockheed alleviates U.S. allies' anxiety over warfighter. So,
oh man, I could stir up a lot on this.
Yeah.
Dude, read that guy's name.
No, I can't even. On the article, some recent European media reports suggest that the presence of such a kill switch that Washington could use to weaken another country's F-35's fighters' power. However, reports reveal that if the U.S. firm cuts off support to the jets and stops supplying the parts and software needed for the maintenance of the jets, Washington can achieve the same results, although it will take time. All right, so basically the crux of this article is there's some magic switch or some button that they can push in DC to render the F-35 quote useless or severely degraded.
It's budget
I have a
button.
question
It's the
immediately.
no more foreign aid. Good luck.
Yeah, so I think that's total crap. So in Malaysia, the prime minister said that the U.S. had what he called it the sort. He said that when they bought the Hornets, that we did not sell them the source code for the jet, and without that source code, they could not program the airplane to attack other countries that Washington didn't agree with. Having flown those airplanes, I will tell you that was pure bullshit. You look at Iran, right? They bought Tomcats and F-4s when the U.S. left, and there was some sabotage going on there. They're still flying those airplanes. They flew them in combat against the Iraqis. I'm not an F-35 expert, but the idea that there's a kill switch in the airplane, I think, is pretty crazy. Mover, what do you think?
All right. I think we should combine topics on this one because there was also the news of countries that were never even going to get the F-35 saying we're not going to buy the F-35 now.
Okay.
So this was part of that too. Canada, for example, is, and I think they still are going to get the F-35.
Yeah, they paid for 12 of them already.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and I'm not going to name anybody, but Gonky, we've had this conversation with other fighter pilots.
Yes.
And the problem when you say we're not going to do this is then what's your alternative? Because unless you have an indigenous fifth gen production, you now have to go somewhere else. So are you going to go to Russia and get the Su-57 or the Checkmate that's currently doesn't really exist in any real capacity? Or are you just going to not have a fifth gen? And then when it's time to actually integrate with your allies, because we're going to get over all this. Like this is all, I mean, there's a lot of, yes, chest thumping, saber rattling, whatever. It's nonsense. It's not realistic. Now, if your country didn't need it in the first place, well, that's another discussion. Like we've talked about Canada and the Gripen and whether that would be better suited, whether they actually need it or whatever. But if you're saying you're not going to buy it because you're mad about current politics, well, I mean, cut your nose off to spite your face. It's going to be a rough time for you unless you can find somebody who can do it. That said, to the point of kill switches and remote control and all that stuff, the people that know better. It's the politicians that are idiots that are saying these things. Like politicians are not smart people, typically. Some are. There are some very smart ones. But for the most part, we don't elect them because they're the smartest of us. We elect them for many other reasons. So they will say things to rile up bases and raise money and get people talking. And then 5 years later, they're going to get their 12th F-35 as, you know, whatever the next administration is. So like people get all amped up about it and then nothing really ends up happening. And that's, I mean, I don't know. Wombat, what do you think?
I have absolutely nothing intelligent to say on this, but I will say something. To keep it simple, 0 times any number is 0. So how could you need a kill switch to render something already useless? Doesn't make any sense.
That's another argument altogether.
Well, the other thing,
we talked about it before, right? It's not in the news with any of the stuff going on right now. Top Gun Maverick proved to us that if it's a GPS degraded environment, you can't use them. So cool, you got if it starts at a 0, you don't need a switch to keep it a 0. It's still a 0. It's very simple. This is basic math.
I love it. Well, dude, additionally, The other thing that, in my opinion, a positive side effect is, and you talked about it, dude. I'm sorry, but in the West, the F-35 shouldn't be the only option. It's bad for progress, right? I mean, in Europe is perfectly capable of. I mean, they built a Typhoon that they have a long history of some of the greatest flying machines ever created. Like, why doesn't Europe have their own 5th gen? I get it, it's expensive, but I would argue that Lockheed having a stranglehold on the marketable 5th gen market.
Oh boy, Gonky's not suicidal.
Not suicidal. Is not good. It's not good for competition, right? Because they have no one to compete against. And like you said, if you don't want the F-35, then I guess you're not doing the 5th gen thing. So I think it may have a positive side effect in that, Europe, Canada, I don't know, these other countries, if they're mad at us, that they invest back into their own aviation industries, or maybe form another conglomeration or something. I don't know, man. You never know, but I do think it's weird that there could only be one, because hey, even here in the States, let's say the entire world's flying F-35s. Well, if they have some major part malfunction that downs them all,
an engine problem,
yeah, or
that may or may not, TR or whatever upgrade that nobody,
exactly. So I think it's actually healthy. It could stimulate some healthy, dare I say it, diversity in the 5th gen,
100%.
in the 5th gen
100%.
market. I mean,
what is 5th gen?
And that's the other thing, man. I was thinking about this too. Exactly. What is
5th gen? Yeah.
People like to throw stealth. Dude, stealth is like 50-year-old technology, right? And I'm sorry, but like a lot of the configurations that I see the F-35 flying around in, it's not stealth, dude. When you got bombs and stuff hanging off the wings, I mean, you might as well send them an email.
Double ugly, and I got the gun pod, and it's like,
yeah. Now I get it. They can slick it off and use it as a stealthy strike fighter. But the thing is they proved in the early 90s that, to be a tactics, you can still shoot down stealth fighters, right? The F-117 that got shot down, they just used smart tactics to shoot it down, right? Now they shot it down with a gun, right? Yeah. So, I mean, it's a technology. Technologies are defeated. And I think it's a little crazy to think that, stealth is not stealth forever.
Wait, let's back up for a second. What
do you mean, what?
They shot down an F-117 with a gun?
Yeah, and help me out, Doug, with my years. Like 93, was it 94?
It's Serbia. In 99. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. And they figured out.
Wikipedia says it was a SAM.
I thought it was a gun. I thought it was a ZSU.
I thought it was too.
Well, regardless, they shot it down. I mean, dude, the point is it was shot down. I get it mixed up. I get a SAM mixed up with it. But my point is they shot down a stealth fighter.
Right. Yeah. No.
Okay. And they used tactics, and that's
which we are not going to talk about for fear of jail.
Correct. I don't want to go to jail, but all I'm saying is, like,
I think you've proven you clearly don't know enough that they're concerned about you giving out classified secrets, Gonky. So
it was a gun. It was a.
You've been one-upped by Wikipedia, which doesn't even have a page.
It was a 30-06. So. It was a golden BB.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Is like, I think it's healthy that it could be healthy to stimulate some.
Well, yeah, you bring up the other point about what is the public perception of how this stuff works. I mean, I did an AI video about the Chinese red eye, and everybody's like, well, it's dogfighting. They're going to win in the dogfight. And it's like, dude, an AIM-9X pulls like 60 Gs. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
its end game is better than yours.
Yeah. And it's like, well, the human in the loop. And it's like, don't care. Nothing's pulling 60 Gs except the missile that's going to
fly up your keister.
You can pull 60 Gs. You won't be awake to
nothing you carry will be part of your aircraft either. That 500 pounder off the wing is going to make the wing go.
It'll continue going straight.
Yeah. I mean, people know enough that they know, they play these games. They see the TV, they watch Top Gun Maverick, and they're like, this is the way it is. And that drives policy because
that's what's scary is you're right.
It ends up driving policy is because they talk to their, they talk to their representative and they're like, oh, my constituents have said that, whoa, this F-35. We make fun of Fat Amy because she's not a good looking girl. But as far as capability,
oh yeah, it's awesome.
There is nothing even close. It is it does exactly what it needs to do, and it does it well. Now,
and ugly.
Does the contractor side need work? Absolutely. But is the airplane
really good?
Yeah, is the airplane suitable? Yes. And so if you want to play in the sandbox and get along, it's a good option. It's a great option. If you're an ally and you want to be 5th gen, there you go. I like what you're saying too, Gonky. Can you develop your own? Yeah. I mean, maybe
I think it'd raise our game, right?
Well, I mean, and yeah, aren't the Brits developing something right now? Like a Tempest or something? So,
dude, I hope they are, man.
Yeah, but to dumb this down for somebody like me, you have to look at it like this. Like, could you develop your own? Yes. But saying you're not going to keep or take these planes because of this kill switch that somebody wrote about is ridiculous. It's like saying, I need a car to get to work, right? To make money, to do things for my family. And the only one available is a Chevy. No, I'm not driving a Chevy. Like, that's ridiculous. It's like you don't have another option right now. Now, once you have another option,
well,
because you've developed something internally, that's different. But if you don't have another option, you're not going to throw away these billion-dollar aircraft that you've already paid for. It's not
even still, who's the kill switch for?
Right. Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
So if we got to the point, this is probably going to ruffle some feathers. Put the disclaimer up. But if we got to the point where we were selling you F-35s one year and you are now worried that we're going to use a kill switch, what else?
Problems.
Yeah. Yes. You are on, we're not friends anymore. And all that comes with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have other switches.
Yeah.
That are way worse than a kill switch on an F-35.
Yeah. I mean, it's that okay. I mean,
countries have switches that turn everything into glass. Like,
yeah,
you won't have to worry about your F-35.
Have I introduced you to our carrier strike group?
Yeah. It's so good it practices on itself.
Yeah. It gets so bored it's practically shooting itself down.
Practically.
Yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, the geopolitics of it
this ain't the news or nothing.
That's true. The geopolitics of it are a little bit sad, but the fact that it might spur some competition is good, I think. But
that's a good thing.
All this stuff that's going on right now is transient.
100%. It's just 100% people trolling people to get feathers ruffled to show power.
Clickbait. It's clickbait.
It's 100%.
If you are getting emotional about anything that's going on right now, short of life and property, right? Short of losing loved ones, you need to go outside, practice your square breathing, touch some grass, put the phone down. I'm serious because like in the history of all this stuff, always it's going to be okay. Like the rhetoric and the nonsense, we move on and it becomes the next crisis. And there's always a
crisis. There's
always somebody saying something that made somebody mad. And until the day it actually happens, which I doubt, just take a breath.
Well,
touch
the other thing too is like 24-hour news is what creates there always has to be a crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Number
sound
one.
Sound bites.
And
everything.
And number two, what can you do about it? I
Be
talk
mad
to
on
FOs about this all the time. Yeah. Like focus on what you can control, right? That's one of the things that they teach in aviation very early on. Aviate, navigate, communicate. What can I control? Can I control what they're doing with alleged kill switches and F-35? No, I absolutely cannot. They didn't ask me. Can I control what certain political leaders say about other countries? No, I can make jokes about them because it's ridiculous. But he didn't ask me. So it's like, stop being so freaking angry about stuff that you can't affect. And like, go hug your kids.
Yeah.
Or like, put down the ho-hos and work out a little. Or go touch grass or something that's good for you.